Okay. So this for if the so regarding this equation, okay, if the particle is moving with uniform velocity, okay, say v, okay, relative to observer in the rest frame, then you can integrate it and you will obtain the time interval, finite time interval measured by the uh, clock in the uh, clock on the particle, okay, in terms of the time interval measured by the observer at rest. Okay. And what is gamma? Gamma is 1 over square root of 1 minus v square divided by c square. Okay. So gamma is always greater than 1. Okay. So this quantity is always less than 1. So denominator is always less than 1. So gamma is always greater than 1. Okay. So T2 prime minus T1 prime, okay, is always less than T2 minus T2. In other words, the time interval of certain events, okay, measured by the rest frame, okay, time interval measured by the rest frame, observing the rest frame, is always greater than time interval measured by the observer in moving. Right? Now we define the proper time. There is a notion called proper time. It is the time measured by the co-moving observer. Okay. So if there is a particle, okay, moving along this trajectory, okay, then we assign one clock to this particle. Okay, we will keep one clock on this particle, and the time shown by this clock, okay, is your proper time. So what do you mean by co-moving? It is the observer which is situated on the particle. Okay, so as particle moves, this observer also moves. Okay, so relative to observer, this particle is at rest, always at rest. So the time measured by such a observer, okay, is called proper time. Okay? And since the proper time, suppose if I denote the time interval, infinitesimal time interval, okay, measured by the co-moving observer by d tau. Okay. So for co-moving observer, this dx, the distance covered by the particle is always 0, right? Okay. Hence, the for distance, okay, in in the co-moving, for the co-moving observer will be always c square d tau square. And since this quantity is invariant, okay, since it is an interval, since it is invariant interval, okay, the proper time is an invariant quantity. Okay, right? So in any frame, the proper time will remain same, okay, by construction. Okay. Is it clear? Okay, because just proper time is just nothing but the interval square divided by c square. proper time square is nothing but interval square divided by c square. So the proper time is an invariant quantity. Fine. Okay. But this should come before we derive Lorentz transformation. Okay, we don't need any exact form of Lorentz transformation, any exact relation between the prime coordinate with unprime coordinates. Okay, it is just by using the invariance of interval. Okay, good. Okay. Now, the next thing is composition of velocities in special relativity. Okay. Suppose we have frame K and frame K prime, and I will assume that now I will not say again and again that their axes are aligned and at t equal to 0 origin coincides and all axes are parallel to each other. That I will not say from now onwards. Okay, it is assumed. And suppose in K frame there is a particle which is moving with velocity say u. Okay, fine. Okay. We want the question is, what is this velocity vector seen by observer in K prime frame? Okay, so we want to derive basically how this velocity vector transform. Okay, so this is the transformed velocity of particle and this is untransformed or velocity in K frame. So this is what we want to derive. Okay, by definition, what is u? U vector u is dx by dt. Okay, and therefore you have ux equal to just dx by dt, and similarly uy equal to dy by dt, and so on. Okay, fine. Now u prime on the other hand is derivative with respect to prime coordinate, derivative of prime position vector with respect to prime time variable. Okay, but this is, what is your dx? Since we know the transformation, okay, between x and x prime, we can get the differential dx prime. What is that? It is gamma, okay, dx minus v. Okay, this is the velocity of frame. Okay, so this K prime frame is moving with relative velocity v. Okay, and dt. Fine. So this I can write as gamma dx. Yeah. So I can use basically, I don't have to write this. Okay. And similarly, what will be your dt prime? Dt prime will be gamma dt minus v by c square, okay, dx. Okay. So this ratio will be what? Okay, this ratio, you just take a, you divide here. Okay, so it is dt you take outside. Okay, so it will become, so this will be equal to so if I take the ratio of these two, okay, what I'm going to get is the following. Okay, gamma factors will cancel out. Okay, so this is the ratio dx prime by dt prime. Okay, will be ux minus v, okay, divided by 1 minus v by c square, okay, ux. Okay. This is what you will get. Okay. Fine. For simplicity, let us assume that this particle, okay, has only x component. So vector u is x cap ux. Okay. Then I can just replace here ux by just u minus v divided by 1 minus u into v by c square. Okay. So this is just for simplicity. Okay, I can take this particle moving along positive x-axis. So the entire velocity is along x direction. So this is your, okay, by definition, your ux prime, okay, will be equal to u minus v divided by 1 minus u into v by c square. Okay. So this is the x component of transformed velocity. Okay. Now what will be the y component of transformed velocity? We can derive the y component of transformed velocity. Okay. Uy prime, okay, it is dy prime by dt prime. Note that dy prime will be equal to dy. But unlike in the Galilean case, you will get a contribution from this dt prime. Okay. So dt prime will be equal to gamma. Now the gamma will not cancel. dt minus v by c square dx. And if you simplify, okay, if you simplify, what you are going to get is, you can take this dt common, etc., and you simplify, you will get uy, okay, uy prime will be equal to uy divided by gamma into 1 minus v square v by c square, okay, into ux. But ux is just u. Okay. In our case, this ui will be 0. So your ui prime will be equal to 0. Okay. But in general, suppose you, okay, so let me consider general case. Okay, let us don't consider the simplified thing. Okay, then there will be, so because there is a chance of confusion. Okay, so ux prime will be equal to ux minus v divided by 1 minus ux into v by c square. Uy prime will be equal to uy divided by gamma v by c square ux. Okay. If you compare this with the Galilean, the law of velocity addition in Galilean relativity, okay, you will not get this kind of thing. Uy prime will be equal to uy. The velocity in the perpendicular direction, okay, of relative velocity, okay, they are not going to change. But here we are seeing the change. It is because of this factor. Okay, right? And similarly, you can write the expression for uz. It will be similar, just replace y by z. But this will remain as it is. Okay. Is it clear? Why this is ux? Because in dt, you will have dx here. In dt prime, you will have dx here only. Okay, why I will have only dx? Because we are considering the relative velocity along x prime direction. For general relative motion, okay, this expression will get changed. This transformation that I will give as the exercise. What will be the Lorentz transformation? Okay. Using this transformation, you can derive the Lorentz transformation for between two frames, okay, moving with relative velocity in arbitrary direction. Okay, but for this case where relative velocity is along x prime direction, there will be only ux here. Okay, so this is how your velocities are going to transform. Now in the next, in fact, I am going to do this Lorentz transformations. Is this clear? Any question? Law of composition of velocities. Is it clear? I hope it
Yes,
is
sir.
clear.
Yes.
Okay. So now consider the Lorentz transformations. Okay. Along any arbitrary direction. What do I mean by any arbitrary direction? We have frame K, okay, and frame K prime. Okay, and this K prime is now moving in any arbitrary direction, say uh, with velocity vector V. And this is in 3 dimensions. Okay. Right? Now, how we are going to derive the transformation between t, x, y, z to t prime, x prime, y prime, z prime. What we need to notice is the following from the our earlier exercise. Okay, you should note that the Lorentz transformation will affect the dimensions or coordinates in the parallel direction of relative velocity. Okay, the perpendicular, the coordinates, okay, in the perpendicular directions are not going to change, but here your velocity is now in the arbitrary direction. That means we need to resolve this velocity in perpendicular component and parallel component. Okay, so suppose you consider the position vector, say r, position vector r. Okay, you you want to transform this to this k prime plane. Okay, so how you are going to do? First, you break this position vector into two parts. One is parallel to the velocity, okay, and one is perpendicular to velocity and one is parallel to the velocity. Okay, this the parallel component, sorry, the perpendicular component, okay, will remain same. So there should not be prime here. Okay, the parallel component is going to change, and we want to determine that change. Okay, this is from our earlier observation. Okay, fine. So how we are going to do? So let us consider transform position vector, say r prime. That also you can split into two parts. One is parallel to the relative velocity and one is perpendicular to the relative velocity. Okay, okay, but the perpendicular component is going to be same. Okay, plus this r parallel prime. Okay, how this r parallel prime will transform? It will transform in the same way as your x in earlier example. Okay? Because now this parallel, see, the r parallel v and r prime parallel. They are in the same direction. Okay, fine. So just recall the transformation between x and x prime. Okay. Okay. Same transformation will be applicable between r parallel prime and r parallel. Okay. So here you have to write gamma r parallel unprimed minus v, okay, into t. Okay, fine. But we need, this is not sufficient. Okay, it's nothing. Okay, this is again in r perpendicular and r parallel. We need to write in total vector, say r. Okay, so for that we'll keep this first term as it is. Okay, and then I will add here r parallel and I will subtract. Okay, when I subtract, I will get gamma minus 1 factor. Okay, okay, I have added r parallel and I subtracted. Okay, minus v t. Okay, v t, and this there is a gamma here. Okay. But what is r parallel in terms of r? See, this will be equal to this first two term will combine to give us r vector r plus r parallel, okay, gamma minus 1 minus gamma t and vector v. Okay, but what is this r parallel? Okay, what will be r parallel? R parallel is the component of R in the direction of V, right? R parallel will be component of R in the direction of V. So what will be that? So unit vector in the direction of V, okay, and R dot V. R dot is this clear? So this will be equal to R dot V, and unit vector in the direction of V is vector divided by its magnitude. Okay. Is it clear? I think there is a mistake. Okay, I think instead of this, it should be unit vector here. Component of R in the direction of V. Okay, that means R dot V cap. Okay, into V cap. Okay, this will be the direction of R parallel. Okay, but then this I can write in this. Okay, so replace V cap here and V cap here by vector V divided by V. V stands for magnitude of vector. This will be your R parallel. Okay, so you can substitute and you will get R plus R dot V into V divided by V square, okay, gamma minus 1, okay, minus gamma T V. Okay. Yeah, so this is the complete transformation of position vector. Okay. So this is the transformation of position vector. What will be the transformation of time? Okay. T goes to T prime will be what? It is very simple. Okay. It will be gamma T minus what? What will be there? It will be V vector V dot vector R divided by C square. That's it. Okay. So this is the transformation of time, and this is the transformation of your position. Okay, fine. Now your job is to write these transformations in matrix form. Okay? So we have here, let us call x0 by let us call x0 by ct, okay, and x by x1, y by y by x2, and z by x3. It's not cube, it's index 3. Okay. So your job is to find the following matrix. So we will have, after Lorentz transformation, we will have x prime 0, x prime 1, x prime 2, and x prime 3. Okay. You will have this quantity, okay, will be equal to some matrix into x0, x1, x2, x3. Right? You have to find this matrix. Just write this previous equation. This just write this vector form into the components. Okay. For example, for our special case where relative velocity along x prime direction, what will be this transformation matrix? Okay, so this matrix will be, okay, your transformations where x t prime is equal to t minus v by c square, x. Okay, so you multiply here c, okay, then it will be v by c. Okay, so v by c is your beta, so ct minus beta x. Okay, but ct is x0 and ct prime is x prime 0. Okay, so x prime 0 will be x0 minus beta x1. Okay, so in this case your matrix will be what? Okay. And similarly your x prime will be equal to gamma x minus vt, then I will multiply by c there, divide by c, then it will become beta, okay, and x0. Fine. So this is your x0 entity. Okay, what will be that? There is a gamma here. Sorry, everywhere there is a gamma. Gamma is here. It will be gamma here. Okay, x0 x1. x0 x1 will be minus beta. Okay, x0 y1 will be 0. Okay, x0 y1 will be 1. Sorry, x0 y1 will be 0. That is correct. Okay, x0 z1 will be 0. Then x1 x0. Okay, x1 x0 will be minus beta. Okay, then x1 x1 will be gamma. Okay, then x1 y will be 0. There is no mixing between x and y. There is no mixing between x and z. Then x0 y will be 0. Then x0 z will be y x0 is 0. Z x0 is 0. Okay, then y x is 0, z x will be 0, y y is 1 because y prime equal to y. Okay, y z will be 0, z y is 0, and z z is 1. Okay. So this is the transformation matrix when your relative velocity was along x prime direction. Similar matrix you need to find for this expression. when the transformations are these. Okay, this and this. Okay. So take this as an exercise. Is it clear? Okay. The exercise is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So you find that. Today we had I have very limited time to only we can go only till 4:40, okay, 4:40 or 4:45. Let us see how much we can cover. Yeah. So is this clear? The how the Lorentz transformation? What is the Lorentz transformation for two frames? Okay, moving relative to each other in arbitrary direction. Okay. In most of the cases, we will this Lorentz transformation, this relative velocity will be along x-expressed direction. But you should know what is the uh, what are the Lorentz transformations, okay, for general relative motion. Okay. Now, I think this aberration of light, I hope you know, but anyway, let us derive it. Okay. Now consider a wave, electromagnetic wave in K frame. Okay, and let us assume that this uh, for simplicity will restrict to x time is there, okay, x y z is there, but we'll consider the waveform of this form. Okay, let us consider electromagnetic wave in K frame, okay, and I will choose the waveform just for the simplicity to be of this form. Cos, we can choose sine also here, okay, cos 2 pi. Okay. So you have x and y directions. So let me write here y, and t is already there. We don't need z at this moment. Okay. So suppose your waveform is moving in this xy plane. Okay. Then what will be the equation for this wave? Okay. This what will be this phase factor? Okay. So it is 2 pi vector. You know the form of wave. What will be the form of this phase? Do you know that? You can put here sign. That is not important. Okay, you can put either cos or sine or even exponential factor, it doesn't matter. Okay, but what will be the form of this phase? It is moving in the plane. So it will be, you consider this direction of propagation, okay, then it will be x component will be, suppose this is theta, okay, then you will have r dot k, vector k. Vector k is magnitude of k, k cap divided by lambda. Okay, fine. So you can write that as x prime cos theta plus y prime sin theta, and k propagation vector will be along this direction, okay, k cap. Okay. So r cap dot k cap, that is 1, so it will be 1 over lambda here minus omega t. Okay. Omega, you can, I have taken 2 pi outside, so I have to write frequency to time. Okay. So sorry, I don't have to write prime, just this x and y. Okay, fine. So this is the, there will be amplitude factor and so on. But the important part is this. Let us consider electromagnetic wave with the waveform, okay, given in this way. Okay. And instead of choosing K frame, let me write for a simplicity. The reason will be clear later. Okay. Instead of K, let me write here K prime. So all these variables will change to x prime, y prime. This theta will be the angle in k prime plane. So I will denote it by theta prime. Okay. So I should write here in principle lambda prime, mu prime, everything will be prime. Okay. Why I'm writing prime here, it will be clear later. Okay. So first we will consider k prime frame. Okay. In that frame, what will be the phase factor of a wave moving in xy plane or x prime y prime plane? Okay. This will be the phase factor. Okay. Now the question is how the observer in rest frame, the k frame, is going to see this phase factor, is going to see this waveform. That is the question. Okay. So what we need to do? We need to transform back these x prime, y prime expressions. Okay. And t prime. Okay. In transform frame, okay, your phase factor will be what? Suppose if I am seeing the wave in this frame, what will be the phase factor? The form of wave will be cos, okay, 2 pi. Okay. Just write in place of primes, you write unprime variables. X prime, but there it, sorry, there will be x here, x cos theta plus y sin theta divided by lambda minus nu t. This will be the form of wave as seen by observer in K frame. Okay. Now, what is the relation between this and this? Okay. Suppose if we take this and transform to unprime frame, okay, obviously your lambda, nu prime, theta primes are going to change. Okay, there will be some relation between theta and theta prime, lambda, lambda prime, nu prime, and so on. Okay, what is that relation? We are interested in that relation. In other words, if this waveform makes an angle theta, if the direction of propagation, okay, in k prime frame makes an angle theta prime with respect to x prime axis, then what will be the angle, okay, made by that propagation vector in k frame? That is the question. The next question would be, what will be this frequency as observed by k frame? Okay, fine. Okay. So it is simple algebra. You consider this expression and transform back. Okay, you use the Lorentz transformations. Okay. So now we are assuming that this k prime frame is moving related to k in x direction. Okay. So there are no complications coming from that arbitrary velocity direction. Okay. So you use the Lorentz transformations. Okay. And what you are going to get, you apply the Lorentz transformation on this. Okay. And what you are going to get is the following. After making Lorentz transformations, okay, it will be cos 2 pi. Okay, what is going to happen? Okay, in place of x prime, there will be gamma x minus vt. Okay, in place of y prime, it is only y. In place of t prime, there will be only gamma t minus v by c square x. Okay, so you substitute those. Okay, and collect the term corresponding to x, corresponding to t, corresponding to y. Okay, so you will get cos theta prime okay, plus v by c into gamma x divided by lambda prime, okay, minus gamma t nu prime into 1 plus v by c, okay, cos theta prime, okay, plus now I will collect this. Okay, so y prime will remain y sin theta prime divided by lambda prime. Okay. So this is just by substituting the Lorentz transformations here. Okay. And now you compare this with this. Okay, fine. And substitute beta equal to, and recall beta equal to V by C. So if you compare equation 1 and equation 2, okay, if you compare the coefficients of x, t, and y, okay, you will get corresponding transformations, you will get corresponding expressions for relation between cos theta prime, sin theta prime, nu and nu prime, and so on. Okay, just compare this with this. Okay, what is going to happen? Your x, you match the coefficient of x. Okay, so you will get cos theta. So let me go to next page. Okay. So if you compare, you will get cos theta by lambda equal to cos theta prime plus V by C, that is beta, into gamma divided by lambda prime. Okay, this is one expression. Then you compare this y. Okay, you compare this and this. Okay, you will get another relation. Okay, that is sin theta by lambda equal to, okay, sin theta prime by lambda prime. And you compare this coefficient of t, you will get nu prime gamma into 1 plus beta cos theta prime equal to nu. Okay. But obviously these two equations are not independent. You can take the ratio of these, your lambda will go. So you can simplify these two expressions by taking their ratio. So you will get tan theta equal to, you take just ratio of these, okay, tan theta will be equal to tan theta prime, okay, divided by gamma, okay, into 1 plus sec theta prime beta sec theta prime. Okay, so this expression and this expression tells you how the angle changes, how angle transform, and how frequency transform. Okay, is this clear? Once you know how the frequency transform, you know how lambda transform. It's just C by lambda, that relation. Okay? So that is nothing new. So you can write this. So here you can write for prime variable. So your tan theta. So if I want to write tan theta prime in terms of tan theta, sec theta means unprimed variables, then we need to do inverse Lorentz transformation. Okay, under inverse Lorentz transformation, your beta is going to change the sign. Okay, fine. So your tan theta prime will be equal to tan theta, and just substitute explicitly the form of gamma and form of beta. Okay, so I'm going to substitute. So gamma in terms of beta will be gamma equal to 1 minus 1 over square root of 1 minus v square by c square. Okay, so that is 1 over square root of 1 minus beta square. Okay, so this is 1 over gamma, so it will be 1 minus beta square divided by, square is not going to change the sign under this, okay, so it will be 1 minus sec theta, okay, and beta. Okay, so this is tan theta prime in terms of theta. Okay, and similarly you can write nu prime in terms of nu. Okay, so nu prime will be, so you have to again do the inverse transformation. So nu prime will be equal to nu into 1 minus beta cos theta, okay, divided by square root of, I'm substituting the explicit form of gamma, 1 minus beta square. So this is how your angle of propagation and frequency are going to change when we go from one frame to another. Okay. So this is known as aberration of light. So in one frame, if you are if there is a light wave, okay, going in this direction, okay, the k cap, okay, and there is a frame moving in direction Vx, okay, then what will be the angle? Okay, there will be some aberration, there will be change in angle. Okay, that change in angle is given by this transformation. Okay? And this is your Doppler shift, Doppler effect. I hope you know this Doppler effect in relativity. Okay? And this is the aberration. Now you can compare. Now your job is to what happens.
Sir, can you go back one
Just
slide?
what happens in the limit b very less than c. Check that you will get classical. Just a minute. Check that you recover first classical aberration formula and classical Doppler effect, Doppler shift. Okay. Yes. What is the question? What is the question? What is the question? Someone has some question.
सर नाही क्वेश्चन नव्हता फॉर्म्युला फक्त थोडासा एकदा बघायचा होता.
Okay. Okay. So is it clear? So these are just your consequences of Lorentz transformations. Okay, nothing great in this. Okay, but these are the observational effects. In that way, it provides test of special relativity. Okay, you can do proper experiments over this and check the postulate, check the validity of the axioms or postulates of relativity. Okay. Yeah. So I think I will stop here. Okay. Today. Okay. It's 4:35 because I need to. Now next thing is to I have to start entirely new topic. Not entirely new. I first discuss the four vectors, okay? And then we will go into the tensors. So, but that is slightly new, and we have to do something, some algebra for that. Okay, it is, I think, good time to stop. Okay, so if you have any question, you can ask. Okay, but I think we need to uh, discuss about time. Okay, because I'm getting 1 hour. 1 hour. It's not convenient. Okay, because this class, AQM class, requires in continuation at least 1.5 hours. Okay. So tomorrow again you will be having lecture at 2:30, right?
Yes, sir.
Am I correct? Yeah, 2:30 to 3:30. Okay. So tomorrow we'll take your class from 3:30 to say 5:30. Okay. Okay. Tomorrow I will take your class from 3:30 to 5:30. Okay.
Okay,
But
sir.
in next week, I'm going to change slightly your timings from next week onwards. And tomorrow your MMP class will be at 10:30. I think this is the time I gave. Okay, so 10:30 to 12:15. Okay, I will take MMP 2, and then your AQM class will be from 3:30 to 5:30. Okay, so we will start at 3:40 maybe. Okay. Fine.
Okay, sir.
So I will stop. If you have any question, you can ask. So if there are no questions, then I think I can end the meeting.